The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking on a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful author whose journey is a very, very interesting one. He's battled alcohol addiction beginning at the age of 18, 22 years. He's been clean and sober, and he's been trying to get sober for a number of years. And, of course, a little fact we're going to throw out there, too. We'll talk more about it. On average, 130 Americans die every day from opioid overdose. And we're also here to talk about overcoming addiction and also a number of things as well, too. He has a book called Ripcord Recovery. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios somewhere in the U.S., without Huck Finn, ladies and gentlemen, author Tom Sawyer. Tom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Well, it's great to have you with as well, too. You have a book called Ripcord Recovery, and it's about the tools that need to overcome addiction. And basically, it's a memoir about your journey as well, too, and how you managed to overcome. It's not a self-help book. And also, let's, before we talk more about it, tell us exactly how you got started.
I got started by developing alcoholism and addiction in my early teens, and it continued on for 40 years. And Ripcord Recovery is really kind of the culmination of almost 40 years worth of trial and error of in and out of rehabs and various and assorted means of trying to get clean and sober. And this is kind of where I landed today, which for me was an epiphany, a shining moment of, hey, I finally figured it out. And it was one of those things that I just felt compelled to put on paper.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, what are some of the things you did as trial and error before you realized that this was the solution?
Yeah, it's a long story, but to put it succinctly, I mean, I went to rehab probably twice, 2 inpatient rehabs, 2 outpatient rehabs prior to age 22 when I achieved getting clean and sober through Alcoholics Anonymous. I stayed clean and sober for 23 years. Made it very successful. I was a counselor for 4 years, and then I moved into corporate America for 20 some odd years and was very successful there. And then I relapsed. Same story as a lot of people. I relapsed on opiates and alcohol and everything else. I was landed back in the hospital after 3 years of that. And back in 2013, I landed in rehab again, and after a year of that, I realized that I was going to relapse again. It was just the writing was on the wall, and Ripcord Recovery is about the time I didn't relapse. It was kind of a make or break situation when I realized that I was destined to relapse again, and I had to change the equation. I had to beat the devil that was trying to get to me. And so I had to reinvent a whole new way of staying sober. And that's what Ripcord Recovery is all about, is kind of taking Alcoholics Anonymous and shaking it up with some medical marijuana. And lo and behold, it turned out to be the magic bullet that has made my life infinitely better.
Mm-hmm. And how'd you come up with the name Ripcord Recovery? Or did you have other titles that you had in mind the book?
No, I had other titles, my Trail of Recovery, a few other things, but Ripcord just kind of stuck with me because it was kind of the crux of the whole thing, was to pull the ripcord, which is to activate, wake up, and get my spirit alive and well. I knew for years and decades that the marriage of body, mind, and spirit was kind of the path to recovery, and keeping all three healthy was paramount to staying sober. And once I figured out how to truly wake up my spirit and get that engaged and develop a harmony between my body, mind, and spirit, it was the magic bullet. It was the ripcord that in the midst of the death spiral, it's the thing that I pull on to say, hey, let's pull out of this death spiral and actually enjoy life. Let's stay sober and not miss it. I mean, the biggest thing is that I don't miss the booze. I don't miss the opiates. I don't miss any of those things that were killing me.
Mm-hmm. And you talk more about the spiritual awakening as well, too, that would influence you to write the book. Tell us a little more about the spiritual awakening, and what was it like for you in the spiritual awakening? Maybe a little bit of the details, and what can people learn from it?
Yeah, the spiritual awakening for me was just kind of the realization that my spirit is a real, tangible body part. It's not a mythical thing. It's not a frou-frou thing out in the clouds. It is a real, tangible body part. By going in and really picking apart, and that's kind of what this whole thing was about, was me looking at figuring out, okay, what's my body? What's my mind? What's my spirit? What is it in reality, and how can I keep it healthy? And so once I realized that my spirit is a real, tangible body part, I realized that, hey, there's things that I can do to keep it healthy. It's just like your gray matter of your brain. You've got to train it, exercise it, feed it, Same thing with the spirit. It's a real tangible body part that has to be nurtured, exercised, and woken up. I mean, the spiritual awakening is an apropos term to just say, get my spirit awake. And that's kind of where the medical marijuana came into the picture, which is something that I didn't have when I was completely clean and sober for 22 years.
Mm-hmm. And also with the spiritual awakening, besides with the medical marijuana, which I'm very glad to see, being back in the mainstream as well, too, and being legal. What types of spiritual awakening are you practicing? Like, say, with Reiki, Tai Chi, or anything like that? Or is it just simply just being peace and still?
No, well, we'll have to caveat this statement by saying that I live in a state where medical marijuana is a felony. So that's why I have to fly under the radar, because it is not legal in all states. But I don't really practice any kind of Reiki or anything like that. It's very much a case of saying that if the spirit is integrated with all of the other atoms of my body, then I have to physically wake it up. I have to activate the senses with smells, sights, sounds, activities. And really, for me, the real crux is to sit, once I start figuring out what my spirit is like, I learn those activities that invigorate me, that wake up my spirit, that get it engaged and happy. And so I have to focus on those activities. So, for example, in Alcoholics Anonymous, you normally inventory your character defects, your resentments, your fears, and you concentrate on getting rid of those. My approach is more to say, okay, I'm going to figure out what activities get my spirit engaged, what activities get me awake and excited about life, and truly focus on those by putting all of my effort into get up and go do those things that actually get my spirit engaged. Not what my boss tells me to do, not what my parents or my spouse think I should do, but those things that for whatever reason, they just excite me. Mm-hmm. Maybe not anybody else, but that's my spirit. Mm-hmm. And only by engaging in those activities is that energy flow active. It's the only way I can keep that energy flow within my body moving in the direction that keeps me happy.
Mm-hmm. And what did you feel you learned while writing the book? Okay, are you with us, Tom? Okay, we're trying to reach Tom Sawyer here, but first listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. All right, Tom, so we're back here on the Mike Wagner Show. I think we lost you for a minute there. That's okay. It's a magic of technology. Sometimes you got to go with the program here. So the question I was going to ask as well, too, before we take a break, what did you feel you learned while writing the book, Ripcord Recovery?
Well, I basically learned that my spirit is a real tangible body part, and that by engaging my body, my mind, and my spirit, I can actually be free from the desire to drink or do opiates or any other harmful drugs.
Mm-hmm. And of course... Uh-huh. Oh, okay, and also, is there more to it? I know the opioid addiction, 130 Americans die from it each year, and, maybe a little bit of, you're taking opioids and more as well, too, and why this addiction is, so powerful.
Yeah, I don't know, and I gave up worrying about that. I spent 40 years trying to figure out why I was an alcoholic or what made me an alcoholic. And I've come to realize that that's really kind of irrelevant. What I've got to do is focus on what is it that will keep me sober? What will it be that actually helps me to enjoy life without opiates or booze or what have you?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And, of course, we'll talk more about the book as well, too. We're officially taking a break. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and over 25 podcast platforms. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with author Tom Sawyer of Ripcord Recovery here on The Mike Wagner Show as he battled alcohol and opioid addiction, and he was clean and sober for 22 years, and a number of events that inspired him to write Ripcord Recovery. And also tell us a little bit more about Ripcord Recovery and what can people basically learn, and what can readers get out of it, and would you consider like as a how-to book or more of a memoir?
It's both. It's a memoir of how I didn't relapse. It's a memoir of the time that I didn't relapse after years and years of relapses. It's really kind of the step-by-step mental process I went through to reinvent my whole program of recovery.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you can also tell us more as well, too. Okay, are you still there, Tom?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. So of course, the book, Ripcord Recovery, and also just a couple more things. Where can people find the book? And also, what are some of your upcoming works that you have planned for 2020 and beyond for us?
No, I don't have any current projects in the works, but you can find my book and more about me on my website, ripcordrecovery.com. Okay. And I'm waiting to see how this book actually takes off or doesn't take off before I refine my next project.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, who'd you write the book for, and what's the message once again conveying to people about Ripcord Recovery? So let's get the message out there about the whole deal.
Yeah, Ripcord Recovery is a very succinct. It's a inspiring book that hopefully is entertaining. I steered away from anything to do with, the drunkalogs, the pointing fingers at who's to blame. I don't want to blame the pharmaceutical companies for my drug addiction, but Ripcord Recovery is intended to be an entertaining, enlightening book that will succinctly and briefly explain how I got from where I was to where I am now.
And who would you say your biggest influence in your career is?
The biggest influence in my career?
Correct.
Depends on which career you want to talk about. I've had 4 already.
You can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've had a lot of influences over the years. I mean, with respect to my writing, I really like Richard Bach. He's been a big influence on me. Just kind of in life, Robin Williams was one of my big inspiring agents as a youth, kind of designing some of my own personality around the insanity of Robin Williams' humor.
Mm-hmm. And also, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point? Don't
give up. The best advice I can give is whether my method works or someone else's methods work, don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
There's always another path to recovery, and anybody that's struggling with addiction, just try again. Keep trying again. And if something doesn't work, then change it up and try it differently.
Mm-hmm. And that's very true. Once again, author Tom Sawyer of Ripcord Recovery here on the Mike Wagner Show. Tom, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. And once again, tell us about where can we find your book, what's the website, and how can people contact you?
They can contact me through my website at ripcordrecovery.com. That's ripcordrecovery.com. There's a link to purchase the book on Amazon. It's available on paperback, Kindle, ebook, and it's easily available. And it's cheap. Cheaper than a 12-pack of beer.
Ain't that the truth? Once again, Tom, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep this up to date. Looking forward to having you back on 2020 and beyond. You've been great.
All right. Thank you very much.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.